In 1952, they were promised food, homes, and a better life. Instead, they were abandoned in the Arctic with nothing, and it took 58 years for anyone to say sorry. Today, just 129 people remain in one of the most unforgiving places on Earth. A town so far north, it never fully thaws. Where winter means 24 hours of darkness and the only emergency vehicle is missing a wheel. There are no roads, no way out, except a single plane that comes maybe 9 times a month. And yet, despite it all, they stayed. But why? Why does this town even exist? The story behind Grise Fjord isn't just about cold. It's about survival, betrayal, and a political decision that changed lives forever. What happened here was no accident. If this story moves you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Your support helps bring hidden stories like this one to light. It wasn't a town born from need. It was created for strategy. In 1952, the Canadian government relocated several Inuit families to Grise Fjord, not for their benefit, but to strengthen territorial claims during the Cold War. They were promised thriving wildlife, food, shelter, and a chance at a better life. What they got was a frozen wasteland, no homes, scarce food, temperatures that could kill, and worst of all, the promise to return home after 1 year was quietly withdrawn. Because if they left, Canada's claim to the Arctic might crumble. So the Inuit were left with a choice: adapt or die. It took 41 years before the government even investigated the relocation. 10 million Canadian dollars were eventually given to the survivors. But that didn't undo the decades of loss. And when a formal apology finally came, in 2010, it was 58 years too late. Today, only 129 people remain in Grise Fjord, one person fewer than in 2011. But behind those numbers lies a story of forced survival and a quiet strength the world still doesn't fully understand. There's only one way in or out of Grise Fjord, a single airstrip carved between snow-covered mountains, so dangerous it demands only the most skilled pilots. The nearest destination? Resolute, Canada, a former Cold War relocation site itself, just an hour and a half away by air. But flights are rare, only 9 flights a month. And when the weather turns, that number drops fast, so they turn to the sea. In summer, when the bay thaws just enough, residents use fishing boats to reach hunting grounds. That simple act, taking a boat into the Arctic, has kept this community alive for decades. Because in 1952, when the Inuit were left here with nothing, they made a discovery. The beluga whales migrate nearby. That migration became their lifeline. Whale meat could feed the village for months, and in a place this cold, nature provides the perfect freezer. Beyond their own boats, just once a year, a government vessel known as the Sea Lift arrives, carrying fuel, supplies, even infrastructure parts. It's a sharp contrast to most of North America, where packages arrive in 2 days. Here, survival means planning a year ahead. It means snowmobiles instead of cars, dog sleds in winter, ATVs in summer, and in the middle of it all, a single grocery store, a co-op run by the townspeople themselves. Not just a place to buy food, but a symbol of control, of independence. Because when you've been abandoned before, owning your future becomes everything. For the people of Grise Fjord, independence isn't abstract, it's personal. Their only grocery store, a small community-owned co-op, was more than a place to buy food. It was a symbol of control, of resilience, of refusing to be governed from afar. But when operations faltered, when meetings were missed, when essentials like milk and perishables vanished from the shelves, the territorial government stepped in. It wasn't a hostile takeover. In fact, since the intervention, the store has remained open consistently, with long missing goods now back in stock. But for many residents, history runs deeper than logistics. They remember what it felt like to be promised everything, and then abandoned. So even now, they want the co-op back, not just as a business, but as a statement. that even here, in a place most people will never visit, they still choose to lead themselves. The government's current 6-month lease can be extended in 3-month terms, but no control will return until an audit is complete. An audit to determine just how deep the co-op's debt has grown. Outside of that store, survival still ties back to the land. Some earn income guiding hunting expeditions on the frozen terrain. This region is home to elusive, sought-after species: polar bears, caribou, walrus, and the world's healthiest wolf population. To outsiders, it's extreme, but to them, it's a way of life. And holding on to even a sliver of self-governance in a place this isolated might be the most human thing of all. When the land offers little, the people turn to what they know best: their hands. Here in Grise Fjord, traditional Inuit carvings, hand-sewn clothing, and tools made from the very animals they hunt. Polar bears, caribou, walrus are sold to the rare visitors who make it this far north. But opportunity is scarce. Avalanches and rock slides from the steep mountain walls surrounding the town leave no safe room to grow. And yet, there's a strange kind of blessing in isolation. Grise Fjord is one of the safest places in Canada. A 1992 study from Simon Fraser University found it had the lowest crime rate of any community surveyed. Because here, survival depends on trust. That doesn't mean life is easy. There's only one ambulance truck, and it's out of service, missing a wheel, waiting on a mechanic to fly in. As for the cold, it never lets up. The average yearly temperature hovers around 2.3 degrees Fahrenheit. In February, it drops to negative 29 degrees Fahrenheit. And even in July, the warmest month of the year, it barely reaches 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Locals have adapted. Water pipes run above ground, constantly circulating to keep from freezing. And still, Grise Fjord is known as the place that never thaws. Because out here, the cold doesn't just freeze your breath, it shapes who you are, and only the strongest endure. It's hard to imagine what life is really like at the northern edge of the world. No roads, no backup, just 129 people, living where most wouldn't last a week. Grise Fjord didn't happen by choice. It was built on Cold War strategy. And yet, those who stayed rewrote the story. They didn't just survive. They turned a political exile into something stronger. A home. In a place where winter lasts 10 months. Where the warmest day barely touches 36 degrees Fahrenheit. What keeps people here isn't comfort. It's connection. To the land, to tradition, to each other. And maybe that's the real mystery. Not how they live here, but why they'd never leave. Grise Fjord isn't just Canada's northernmost town. It's a reminder of how politics can displace lives, and how people, when given nothing, can still build something lasting. For 58 years, no one said sorry. For decades, they endured Arctic darkness, frozen ground, and broken promises. And somehow, through it all, they stayed. Maybe the cold isn't the hardest part. Maybe it's learning to live in a place the world forgot and still calling it home. Today, just 129 people remain. No highways, one plane, and yet no desire to leave. So here's the question. If you were sent to the edge of the earth with nothing, would you have stayed? Let us know in the comments. And if you feel that pull to keep searching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a step in our journey to uncover what still hides on this earth. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.